call, respond with the police. 47 Fort Down Summer Street. Female party jumped off the top floor of the house and suicide at 712, 1812.
It's unknown where the knife is, or whatever she used to slit her. She's in the... Looks like they're pinging around the back. We'll get that info now.
I'm going to get all 3 mutual aids at this time. I'm getting you 3 mutual aid ambulances. I struck the box. We got 3 on the way. Okay, I got 1 here. I got 4 patients total. 2 in Summer Street. 3rd ambulance in for a suicidal situation.
On January 24th, 2023, Patrick Clancy, a father of 3, returned to his home in Duxbury, Massachusetts, to find his wife severely injured and their children unresponsive. The town was shocked as the news of the tragedy spread like wildfire, and the investigation revealed disturbing secrets and the family's hidden secrets. Hello and welcome back, friends of Moonlight Mysteries. Before we go straight into this mystery, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so by clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon below. Today, we're looking at the unsettling case of Lindsay Clancy. Duxbury, Massachusetts, is a charming coastal town with 16,000 residents, known for its New England-style homes, historic landmarks, and beautiful parks like Duxbury Beach. It offers history, outdoor recreation, and arts, making it an ideal destination for visitors, and it's here that our story begins. In 2016, Patrick and Lindsay Clancy married in a beautiful ceremony. 2 years later, they purchased a home in Duxbury, Massachusetts, and within 6 years, they had 3 children. In 2018, they welcomed Cora, their firstborn. 2 years later, their family grew with the arrival of a bouncing baby boy named Dawson, and in 2022, they welcomed another bouncing baby boy, Callan. Cora was a beautiful girl with a heart of gold, dreaming of becoming a doctor and mother. She often practiced by giving her brother Callan checkups, which melted her parents' hearts. Their family was a beautiful blend of personalities, and their journey together was enchanting. Dawson, the second-born of the Clancy bunch, had bold brown eyes, a natural talent for humor, and was generous. Callan, the youngest, was a happy baby from birth, and his parents affectionately nicknamed him Happy Callan. Lindsay and Patrick were the ultimate parenting duo, with deep love and devotion to their children. Lindsay was a labor and delivery nurse at Massachusetts General Hospital, and her passion for her children was evident in every moment spent with them. Patrick, a businessman, was dedicated to his family and eager to take his kids on adventures, from scooting through the park to skiing down the slopes. He knew that his children were his purpose in life and never took that responsibility for granted. Life seemed to be going perfectly for the Clancy family, happy, healthy, and filled with love. But tragedy struck without warning. On January 24, 2023, Lindsay and her daughter Cora went to a pediatrician appointment in the snow. They spent the day together, playing and building a snowman. As the afternoon approached, Lindsay planned dinner with her husband Patrick, who was working in his basement office. She called CVS Pharmacy in Kingston to inquire about children's Miralax, a laxative medication for kids. The manager informed her that they didn't have it in stock but suggested alternatives. Lindsay ordered a Mediterranean Powerball for herself and a scallop and pork belly risotto for Patrick. She also asked him to pick up the kids' medication on his way back. At 5:10 p.m., Patrick picked up the takeout and medication, and at 5:33 p.m., he arrived home to find the house empty and silent. He felt like he had entered a horror movie set, and as he walked into their second-floor bedroom, he found the door locked. This made him suspicious, and he thought of what could have happened. Forcing the door open, he found Lindsay lying motionless on the ground 20 feet below. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare. Patrick rushed to the backyard, where he found his wife lying broken on the ground with blood pooling around her wrists. His heart sank at the sight, but he was relieved to see that she was still breathing unconscious. When he asked her what had happened, she told them she tried to kill herself and jumped out of the bedroom window. Patrick's mind went into overdrive, and he quickly dialed 911 to help his family. The tragedy unfolded at a moment when Lindsay's life changed forever.
She got medical call, respond with the police. 47 Fort Down Summer Street. Female party jumped off the top floor of the house and suicide at 712, 1812.
It's unknown where the knife is, or whatever she used to slit her. She's in the... Looks like they're pinging around the back. We'll get that info now.
I'm going to get all 3 mutual aids at this time. I'm getting you 3 mutual aid ambulance cabs. I struck the boss. We got 3 on the way. Okay, I got 1 here. I got 4 patients total. 7 Summer Street. 3rd ambulance in for a suicidal situation.
Blamed the situation to the operator as he waited for the ambulance. Patrick, he wondered where their children were. Lindsay informed him that they were in the basement. He was even more devastated when his children, Cora, Callan, and Dawson, were found in the basement, where they lay motionless with exercise bands around their necks. The weight of the tragedy was too much for him to bear, and officers and paramedics arrived to take them to Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, Plymouth. Lindsay was also transported to South Shore Hospital in Weymouth for treatment.
However, at 7:28 p.m., his world came crashing down when the doctors delivered the devastating news that Cora and Dawson had passed away. His heart shattered into a million pieces, and Patrick struggled to come to terms with the tragedy that had befallen his family. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged. Callan, miraculously, was still fighting for his life. The doctors were able to revive him, and he was quickly transported by medical flight to the Boston Children's Hospital. Though he was in critical condition, the medical team continued to work tirelessly to save his life.
On January 25, 2023, authorities issued an arrest warrant for Lindsay on multiple charges, including 2 counts of homicide and 3 counts of strangulation. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that Lindsay had played a role in the murder of her own children. The news shook the entire community, who couldn't comprehend how a mother who seemed so normal could take the lives of her children. On January 27, 2023, little Collins suffered permanent brain damage due to the exercise band around his neck. The tragedy shook the entire community to its core. Lindsay, who had been unconscious for days, opened her eyes and used a whiteboard to communicate her thoughts. Her body had suffered immense damage from the fall, and she was paralyzed from the waist down. The evidence was overwhelming, and the road to justice for the tragic events of January 24th was just beginning. Patrick shared his heartbreaking post on the family's GoFundMe page on January 28, 2023. He expressed his immense pain and shock at the loss of his children, and urged others to forgive Lindsay. The outpouring of support for Patrick and his family was immense, with people from all over the world donating to their medical bills, funeral services, and legal help. On February 6, 2023, Lindsay made a shocking confession to her husband in the presence of Dr. Paul Ziesel, a renowned psychologist hired by her lawyer to assess her mental state. She revealed that after leaving their home on January 24th, she had experienced a moment of psychosis and heard voices in her head. She claimed that a man's voice instructed her to take the lives of her children and end her own life, as it was her last chance to do so. A thorough mental evaluation revealed that Lindsay had been struggling with postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis, 2 conditions that can arise after giving birth. Postpartum depression is a form of clinical depression caused by hormonal changes, lack of sleep, and stress, while postpartum psychosis is a rare but severe condition characterized by delusions, hallucinations, and confusion. Women with a history of bipolar disorder or schizophrenia are at a higher risk of developing these conditions. Lindsay had sought help from psychiatrists due to overwhelming feelings of anxiety and depression, and was prescribed 13 different psychiatric medications to manage her symptoms. These medications, including powerful drugs like clonazepam, Valium, Prozac, sertraline, and lorazepam, had significant side effects and potential risks. On January 1, 2023, Lindsay checked herself into McLean Hospital in Massachusetts, where she was taken off some medication and put on others before being discharged on January 5th. Lindsay was found paralyzed in a hospital bed on February 7, 2023, after her son Callan was born in May 2022. Her husband Patrick asked if she still had thoughts, and Lindsay responded that she had not received all the details about her mental health. It became clear that her actions might have been due to her struggles with postpartum depression, which would later be a key factor in her defense in court. Lindsay's defense attorney, Kevin Reddington, and prosecutors agreed that her family knew of her worsening depression and unsettling thoughts following the birth of Callan. Reddington argued that Lindsay had been suffering from postpartum depression and possibly postpartum psychosis, but prosecutors refuted the claim.
She never indicated that she was hallucinating, delusional, or had disordered thoughts or speech.
The exchange was tense, with both sides trying to approve their point. In a shocking turn of events, Prosecutors revealed that Lindsay had been keeping notes on her phone about her feelings.
She wrote in her journal that at times she had suicidal ideation in December of 2022, and she also told her husband that she had suicidal thoughts and on one occasion had thoughts of harming her children. But she did not write or voice those thoughts after a stay at McLean Hospital. When she had those thoughts, she consulted with a psychiatrist and with her husband, and then she committed herself to McLean Hospital on January 1st, 2023. She was discharged by the hospital on January 5th, 2023, and the hospital did not file any paperwork at that time attempting to have her committed as a danger to herself or others.
The courtroom witnessed a shocking revelation about Lindsay's mental struggles, including her note requesting an attorney 3 days after her children's death. Prosecutors argued that Lindsay was aware of her actions and consequences, suggesting she was not suffering from a complete lack of mental capacity. They further argued that the murders of Lindsay's children were not impulsive acts, but meticulously planned, highlighting the extent of her mental struggles. This revelation left everyone in the courtroom speechless.
The defendant did not take advantage of the situation when her husband left the home that night. She created the situation. And she used Apple Maps to make sure she would have enough time to strangle each child before her husband returned from where she had sent him. The defendant is a danger to herself and others. She planned these murders, gave herself the time and privacy needed to commit the murders, and then she strangled each child in the place where they should have felt the safest, at home with their mom.
Evidence from her phone records revealed the searches she made on the day of the murders. Her defendant attorney Reddington argued that the murders were not premeditated but a tragic result of the country's failure to address mental health needs of new mothers. He also highlighted that Lindsay was prescribed a combination of medications that did more harm than good, leaving her unable to experience genuine emotions.
We all know that this woman is, as counsel concedes apparently, a danger to herself. I question whether she would ever make it to a trial. She's extremely emotional. However, she's unable, and has been unable, to express any happiness or sadness or cry. And in fact, sometime about a month or two ago, she made the comment, "I just wish that I could feel something."
Her defense attorney's claims were met with mixed reactions in the courtroom. Letters of support for Lindsay, from friends to strangers, expressed their empathy and understanding for the struggles women face during and after pregnancy. They called for more resources and support for women suffering from postpartum depression. The prosecution rejected Lindsay's attorney's defense strategy and pushed for her to be kept in custody without bail. However, the judge ruled that Lindsay would remain in the hospital since the day she allegedly killed her 3 children. Lindsay's fate now rests in the hands of a grand jury who will decide whether she should be charged with murder. The case of Lindsay Clancy raises important questions about mental health during the postpartum period and the support available for women struggling. It raises questions about what more can be done to ensure women receive the help they need during this vulnerable time and how to prevent tragedies like this from happening in the future. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you think she should go to prison? What do you think the husband's going through?